We appreciate you watching and listening to The Dead Jeff Show. Please like and subscribe and tune in for more videos. Let's check out what's going on with the NFL head coaching vacancies. Now, to update everybody, we have the Giants and Harbaugh agreeing to a deal. We have Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta as their new head coach.
Yep.
Jeff Hafley is the Dolphins' new head coach. And the Packers replaced Hafley with Jonathan Gannon as their defensive coordinator. The Titans are maybe disgruntled over the fact that they fired Mike Vrabel and he's now in the Super Bowl. They hired Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me. The Ravens, who couldn't stand John Harbaugh anymore because of his lack of getting the Super Bowl, championship, they hired Jesse Minter. No disrespect to Jesse Minter, but we'll see what happens there, right? It could be great. I don't know. And your Pittsburgh Steelers, I got a lot of friends that are Pittsburgh Steeler fans. And when the news broke that Tomlin's out and Mike McCarthy is your new Pittsburgh Steeler head coach, from hometown guy, grew up in the shadows of the stadium, all that stuff. And I think all of them were disappointed until the great Bill Cowher spoke. And now all of a sudden they're all changing their minds. What do you guys think about McCarthy to the Steelers?
I love it. Aaron, it'll keep Aaron Rodgers there a little bit longer. Maybe have a nice playoff run. Maybe go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I just think it's ironic, and it'd be a storybook ending that Aaron Rodgers, they beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. They both are now on the Steelers. They win a Super Bowl, maybe against Green Bay. That would be insane. Storybook ending for Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know. I love it. I love that they are reunited. But I'm an Aaron Rodgers homer, so.
Well, I mean, and it's not like they've had a great relationship until recently. They've kind of patched things up, and I think if you're a Steelers fan, this is the oldest coach they've ever hired and had in the organization. He's 62, Mike McCarthy. So you go from younger coaches staying there a long time to hiring an older coach. I can see where you say where offense has been the challenge. So let's bring in an offensive mind, and McCarthy certainly improves offenses everywhere he goes. I don't know. I think Mike McCarthy, I think he didn't get the credit he may have deserved here in Dallas.
Sure.
But again, with the Jerry situation, I don't know that he ever would, So what do you think, Nick, about McCarthy and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, I think because technically Aaron's not under contract next season. And Rooney coming out and saying, hey, we're very open publicly for the owner to come out and state, hey, we're very open, and it sounded like even wanting Aaron to come back to maybe bridge the gap for what is seeming to be maybe a draft pick, or maybe they're gonna take a flyer in free agency and go get a young quarterback and hopefully have like a Sam Darnold type situation with McCarthy developing a quarterback. Regardless, I think having McCarthy and Rodgers for a season with that defense, DK Metcalf, it makes a lot of sense. And for a historical defensive franchise to hire an offensive minded coach almost makes too much sense. I actually like Mike McCarthy a lot. I liked him in Dallas. I really enjoyed his coaching style. I know when he was in Green Bay for all those years, I hated when the Cowboys played the Packers because I just felt like McCarthy absolutely owned Jason Garrett, and not felt like he did. He did. So I mean, I love it for as a totally impartial person. I love it as a hire, and I think should make Pittsburgh better.
I don't know if the coach that you can name didn't own Jason Garrett, but anyway, that's a different story. Now, no disrespect, because Jason Garrett got some job interviews. He didn't land one, but wonder why. Anyway,
literally,
this is what I'll say is, if there's a person that can understand the Steelers fan, it's McCarthy. And I bet McCarthy went in there and did a really good sales job about, hey, I can fix this offense. And if you want Aaron back, I'm the best chance of Aaron staying, which is true. But I'm not, the first reactions of some of the pundits was interesting. It's like, the Steelers doing McCarthy and Rodgers is bad. That's what Orlovsky said. Orlovsky said, and Stephen A. Smith wasn't happy about it. He's a big Steelers fan. But I think Bill Cowher coming out and speaking and giving it the thumbs up to say, hey, I like the hire, has kind of quieted down the uproar. But we'll see how this goes because they've spent a lot of money on defense, right?
Yep.
Is that right? The
Yeah.
Steelers? I don't know what their cap situation looks like, but bringing in DK Metcalf was one, and it turns out maybe you should have just kept Pickens and changed the scenery around him. But here's what I'll say: time will tell. But McCarthy has never really gone into a situation and made the offense worse. So that's hope for the Steelers, and you can't really make that offense worse. So as it's been over the last few years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll throw this out for Steelers fans, and I'm curious what you guys have to say because I know obviously Steelers fans travel well. But to me, if I'm a Steelers fan and I'm just kind of looking at this ahead, obviously Mendoza's going to come off the board. There, you have almost no doubt. There's no chance of that happening. And then behind him, you've got a couple of guys that could theoretically fall to you. If I'm a Steelers fan and I have Aaron Rodgers coming back, I think Ty Simpson from Alabama,
Makes
to
sense.
develop behind Rodgers, to learn under McCarthy, how much of a dream scenario is that for that franchise in a admittingly down year for quarterback? That could be something where spending a late first round draft capital could not necessarily kill your franchise. And kind of think toward the future a little bit. So just something to ponder on if you're a Steelers fan in the draft coming up.
And we'll see who joins McCarthy there in Pittsburgh, who's on his staff. That'll be interesting. But here's the thing that I find really interesting. So the Ravens got rid of Harbaugh for Jesse Minter, right? The Bills fired Sean McDermott they don't have a candidate yet. Phillip Rivers withdrew his name because I don't think he would have been seriously considered with his high school coaching experience. So he's withdrawn his name. But the other three teams that you have still looking for a coach with all these candidates already gone are the Cardinals, Browns, and the Raiders. Now, doesn't that make a lot of sense that these three teams are still without a coach with all of these other teams with a coach?
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns have stunk for a while, and Stefanski gave them a little hope, and they turned on him in a brief second. Doesn't sound like the GM and him got along so well. And then you got the Raiders, who have sort of, struggled to really, make a move upwards. And the Cardinals are just the Cardinals, but the Bills are the interesting one. If I'm going to let Sean McDermott go because we haven't gotten over the hump, it's like, who am I going to replace him with? Right? That's the deal. Have we heard, other than Phillip Rivers and Brian Daboll, who's interviewed there for Buffalo's job?
There's not been a lot. I'm literally looking it up right now. There has not been a lot of other reports. The only thing that I'm seeing here is reportedly the Bills are not looking to even pursue Bill Belichick. That was a story that was out for quite some time. Grant Udinski has withdrawn from the Brown search with hopes of having an opportunity at the Bills job. And then the one that seems to be gaining a ton of steam right now is the prospect of I can't even believe that this is even a real thing, but Josh McDaniels leaving the Patriots and heading over to Buffalo.
We've seen that. We've seen that movie.
I know.
It's awful. Josh, stay there. Bills, don't do that.
Maybe
That's
it's
horrible.
Maybe it's a Lane Kiffin situation where he had to get it out of his system, and now he's going to be great.
No.
Yeah.
No, Josh McDaniels.
As far as the Raiders go, I think right now they're in a curse situation since they got rid of John Gruden. I think they need to get him back, especially if they're going to get Mendoza. They have Genty. They have a pretty good defense. I don't know. I can see. I don't know if they've thought about that, but I think they should try to get John Gruden back and see. I don't know. I think that would be an instant instant upgrade and success for them. I think they would.
No, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about Gruden.
Yeah.
Is the taboo worn off of him with everything that's happened? I know he's been on social media and people are starting to like him again. But why not Gruden in Buffalo? I mean, that seems to like make
Maybe,
a perfect
yeah.
match.
Yeah.
Raiders, I like going back to the Raiders, and you got Brady is a minority owner. You think Brady would have a coach picked out here, but nobody wants to go to Cleveland. It looks like so. It's and the Bills owner coming out and doing what he did to McDermott probably is not making that a great landing spot. Josh Allen makes it a great landing spot, but there's so many questions on defense, and I just think it's hilarious that all these teams have coaches, but yet we're still looking at Cardinals, Browns, and Raiders, and the Bills being the outlier there.
Yeah.
But if you rank these hires, obviously Harbaugh is the home run, right?
Yeah.
And the rest are sort of meh. Maybe McCarthy is the second best hire.
I agree.
I don't know enough about Jeff Hafley, but he can't do worse than Mike McDaniels did there, who's now going to be the Chargers offensive coordinator, which that's probably a good spot for him back in the sunshine. He likes the sun. So I don't know. I'm just not wowed by these hires. And I think Robert Saleh, I like him as a defensive coordinator and don't know enough about Hafley and Mentor. And I think Stefanski's landed in a good place in Atlanta. So you don't like Stefanski, I know. And I'm not particularly a fan, but I would
like
say
Atlanta though.
Yeah.
I like Atlanta though I don't know about Stefanski.
You mean just the team?
Getting him out of Cleveland. Yeah, I
got you.
I feel like people were sleeping on that. Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, nobody should touch. Like that's not a good team to touch." Like, But I don't know. I feel like they play hard. They're not terrible. I think they're a couple pieces away from being a solid team.
Good division too.
And the division, division's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you got Bijan, you got a chance, right? You got
Yes.
Bijan, you got London, you got Pitts.
Yeah. The Gruden thing, just since you mentioned it, so apparently a lot of teams like wanted to talk to him, or like the rumors were that he was going to get like a lot of head coaching looks.
Board button.
It's never stopped recording.
It's still recording. We're talking about John Gruden though. Nick was saying something.
I don't know what happened.
What I was just real quick, what I was going to say on Gruden, that there was some activity around him, but apparently he still has litigation going on with the league, because he filed a suit against them saying that they orchestrated like his removal, and apparently that's still open. So that's what's preventing him from really getting good looks again.
Gosh.
Well, we'll see if that prevents him from getting a job this year. I can't imagine there's going to be 10 jobs open next year. This would have been a great year for him to drop that lawsuit. So. But I mean, to me, it's just the way that happened. That whole thing with Gruden.
Yeah.
It's kind of taboo, but you can't. I guess everything done in the dark comes to light, and just because it wasn't done properly and they released emails or whatever, but you still said it. You still said the stuff. So. You got to own that. So we'll see what happens with these last 4 openings. And the Bills, I think, look the most foolish in this whole deal.
Silly.
So we'll see who they get.